Standing by. We are once again, folks, going back home to Canada, this time to Montreal, in what has become the most unprecedented time in the industry. Who will create history? Do you believe in Joe Hendry? There's been so much more to be discussed as we simply predict TNA's arguably second biggest pay of the year for the 20th time. Welcome to Slammiversary! And welcome to the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to City Predicting. You know what this is. I am the Simple Man, the voice of Jam Man forever, great professional wrestling. Damn it, my name is Noah Foster, and I am never alone in this fun discussion as we simply predict this entire card. With me tonight, he is my color analyst in all things, probably non-WNXT at this point, James Keybird, and he's happy to be here. I'm happy to have him here. I'm happy to have him more partially predicting, maybe more than TNA. Who knows? And he'll also be making his full-on commentary debut when we go across the pond to Berlin in August. Big Baller G of NoDQ, and shout out to Bossman Aaron Riff of NoDQ. Hope you had a great NoDQ Q&A. Stay tuned for NoDQ review as we approach episode 300. Thank you for those that are tuning here, Jimmy Motivation me, episode predicting. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend. And if you want to dictate the conversation, don't need to dictate Casting Steels, Jeff Meacham Network, Red Cherry Brand. Super chat, simple as that. And for those that wondering about the form, it will be live come tomorrow morning. And of course, I have all your scores. You'll find leaderboard updates on my social medias too. That being said, let's go around and feel what everyone's thoughts are about Saturday's pay-per-view. Big G, as a newcomer to the TNA Predicting family, it's once again a pleasure to see you. How you feel about TNA Slammiversary, and how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, Noah. Doing work, school. I know you don't care about television shows, but I'm in the middle of Cobra Kai season 6 right now. Other than that, I'm excited for Slammiversary. It'll be my first Slammiversary that I'll be watching. The card looks stacked.
Right?
They've pulled me in so far. I'm gonna give it up until probably Bound for Glory in October or whatever that is, and then go from there.
That's fair enough. Well, happy to have you on board. James, once again, good to see you, man. Here we are dealing with the chaos of nonstop action. That's the wrestling business. And here we are, simply predicting TNA Slammiversary. How do you feel about the pay-per-view this Saturday, man? Good to see you.
Feels pretty good, man. I have not been able to see the show because I've been super swamped with work, priorities before passions. But I am looking forward to the show. I might be watching when it happens, if not during the show, maybe after the show has already aired. But I am looking forward to the show because it's TNA and it's Slammiversary, and NXT has been all over TNA lately, and vice versa. So I'm looking forward to it.
A good deal, Manuel. Good to see you. And again, for everybody that's tuning in, I want to give a shout out to my TNA correspondent, Dadilla, who will, of course, be doing her own review of the Go Home show and probably her own prediction for Slammiversary at It's Wrestling Time. Follow her at Raiders of Wrestling. Want to give love, of course, to the friends of the Multiverse media. Shout out to Renegade JJ Williams. Thanks for being part of the call for the Go Home tonight. Please follow him, Casting Steels. Go check that out in the archives. And Mr. Walter Cruz, who will most likely be on the call with me, James, in some collaboration, probably a J-Day during his NXT match too, when we cover Slammiversary. So without further ado, gentlemen in chat, let's get right into it. Again, it's a stacked show. It's pay-per-view only via TNA Plus or Triller TV. This Saturday starts 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with a special 1-hour countdown available for free across TNA social media platforms, YouTube, and TNA Plus. And based on the Go Home tonight, we have 14 matches, I believe, right now on this card. So in no particular order. We're going to start things up. We have graphics for some. Yeah, right. And other ones we don't because they were literally just made tonight. We're coming off the Go Home show for TNA Impact. Please support TNA Wrestling. Follow my YouTube. Support WNXT, courtesy of WWE. So on the countdown, they did confirm a couple of matches now known, and they are knockouts regarded. The first one was made known during the press conference today. It's a fatal four-way match with, get this field, the quintessential knockout, Michelle Shaw, Sarah Brookside for, spoiler alert, folks, for those that watch TNA Impact tonight, coming off a great win against Alicia Edwards, thanks to some help from Spitfire, neutralizing Macha Slamovich. Of course, we'll talk more about those two teams here in a moment. Former TNA Knockouts World Champion Tasha Steele, the Buikwa, I can't say it because we're under the 5-minute mark. And also returning to TNA Impact, has not been seen for 2 years, courtesy with AAA still previous challenger to Diana Purrazzo and also a victim of the Virtuosa, Fabi Apache, 4-time Reina de Reinas champion. It's a fair 4-way match. There's nothing on the line here except I would think pride, and maybe all 4 of these women are trying to put their name in the hat, so it's going to be challenging for the TNA Knockouts World Championship down the line. With this field having 1 known previous TNA Knockouts World Champion and 2 yet to hold that gold, but both previously challenging also for it, along with Tasha, it feels like probably Apache is like the X factor here, but you almost might think that people would write her off based to unfamiliarity and the fact she's coming out from a different promotion. But as we've seen with NXT TNA, you cannot count out NXT and TNA, so I don't think you should count out AAA either, considering Laredo Kid is formerly a digital media champion. So that being said, James, I'll start with you. What's your thoughts on this 4-way dance in the Knockouts division, which again we politically call the best booked, respected alternative / quality women's wrestling division on the Western Front next to NXT as of late? What's your thoughts on this 4-way dance?
I feel like, and knowing how TNA kind of works things, and this is basically going off of not watching the Go Home show at any point or much of TNA at all lately because I've just been that freaking swamped. I feel like Xia Brookside needs to win just from the way you explained it. I feel like if anybody deserves it, it's her, because I feel like she's vastly underrated, and I feel like they could definitely use Xia Brookside in a singles role, even if she doesn't win the championship. So that'd be my recommendation there. But we'll see what happens. That's kind of my gut prediction, but that's also coming from a guy that barely has been able to watch TNA. So.
And the beauty of TNA, it's also probably the most unpredictable company when it comes to predictions, as I host 5 different leagues for 5 different wrestling companies, including TNA, and everyone's doing very well, including shout out to those that participated: Christopher Rotz, Con Andrew, Canadian Royalty, Kimberly, my friend on the Twix, Ashley, amongst many others. Keep on participating, folks. Walter Cruz, hope you all are having fun in the TNA League. Maybe Big G making his TNA League debut can actually have a good score. And also, I botched. It's 11, so relax. I had a couple of matches worked on twice, but still, it is kind of a big number.
Oh,
get that off.
Well, I was trying to go for the. I actually wasn't trying to do it that way.
Sure you wasn't. Sure you wasn't. The system is flawed, just like we'll talk about later in our main event, possibly. Big G, your thoughts on this 4-way knockout dance? You know a couple of the knockouts being recently connected now to TNA, but you probably have never seen or heard of Fabi Apache, and of course the story with the quintessential knockout Shell Shaw after being re-encouraged by Gail Kim, TNA Hall of Famer, first ever TNA Knockouts World Champion. I look at this field and I think that this could be a huge win considering we're in Montreal, Canada. I'm just saying one of these women's Canadian. I think the show shall surprise us here in Tegan. I think it will be a big win for her, and I think she needs to continue her momentum. Since coming back, she's undefeated. So I'm actually going different than James. I'm going with the Shell Shaw, but what's your take?
I mean, I'm really only familiar with obviously Xia Brookside from her NXT UK days. And I did watch tonight's show, and she did pick up the win against Alicia Edwards. So, I mean, she does have momentum going in this match. Tasha Steelz, I've seen a couple of her matches on TNA. I think the first week that I watched TNA, I think she was on there. Giselle Shaw, I mean, I've heard of, and I've seen like bits and clips of her matches. And the other person I've never even seen in my life, so I'm not gonna even go with her. Just for Pete's sake, I'm gonna go with Xia Brookside, just because I know her work the best.
Yep. Same. That's the only reason I picked her. So
yeah, you all know her. Let's be honest here. You all know her from NXT UK primarily before she arrived in TNA. Let's just put it out there right now, because me and Big G eat, sleep, live, and breathe that brand to the day it died. All right.
Yes.
Yep.
Back in red for life. All right. Well, simply put, Daniel, Christopher Rotz, good to see you as well, and Emmanuel, always appreciate your support as well. All right, well, let's go ahead and move right on down for this card. And after that main event crash with the ratings tanked. I don't think this is going to be on the countdown, but I don't think he even deserves to be in the opener. Let's go ahead and talk about Flop Dollar since you don't have the image that corrupted.
Oh, I do have the image. It didn't corrupt, but I wish it did.
That's an image only a mother would love. Maybe.
I don't even think the mother loves him.
Damn, it wasn't being that harsh. Anyway, oh good lord. It's the digital media and the International Heavyweight Wrestling Championship. Flop Dollar, AJ Francis, Rich Swann, Top Trash, First Class, whatever the fuck you want to call them. We're over the mark.
Wait, the International Heavyweight Champion?
I don't know. Some sort of promotion that I think gave him a consolation prize more expensive than his Cheez-Its title. I have no fucking idea.
Oh, okay.
Taking on Perfect Creation one half of the former Quebecers, former Ring of Honor World Champion, PCO, at 52 years of age. Here's the one thing you need to know about PCO, folks. He's not human. There's another thing you need to know. He's from Canada. I think Canada somehow knows how to reincarnate this guy more times over than Frankenstein. That being said, do you believe in love? Because this all stems from the most bizarre love fallout in recent wrestling memory with PCO and Steph DeLander, to the point Steph DeLander was on a Zoom call with this man, and PCO didn't even know how to work the camera. So I think this is about redemption and revenge. Zyra Brookside says love wins in the end, and I hate that phrase. So many reasons why in wrestling, because it's sometimes just so ugh. But anytime somebody beats Flop Dollar, it actually is a victory for me. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think PCO should become the new digital media champion, and I hope he beats AJ Francis. And after Flop Dollar choke slam Steph DeLander through a table, I hope Steph DeLander kicks him in his Cheez-Its, if not chokes him in through a table. So
his Cheez-Its.
I'm gonna say PCO wins.
Okay, then. You know, you've been very savage lately. I feel like the multiverse has been very savage-like lately. I don't know what it is. I think something's in the fucking water lately. I don't know, man.
Everyone's got those triggers, and one of my triggers is Flop Dollar. Just saying.
Well, that's true.
Again, Joe Henry explained it perfectly in his song. And I'm not saying that here. Don't try to super chat it, folks. All right? Even though
I will also go with PCO, and I feel like that's definitely unanimous, probably with Big G as well. But I will pass it to you after this. I gotta say, I take umbrage with you, good sir. How dare you? It's thoughts like that about not believing in love. That's exactly why the Motorboat Trio disbanded on AEW. It's your fault. It's fans like you that caused that shit to happen. That's why hate happens in wrestling, goddammit.
Excuse me for thinking differently, like freaking the opposing force to Bill Gates.
Well, Steve Jobs, but pretty close.
I don't wear turtlenecks. That being said, Christian Cage does. And he's not, and again, former veteran. Off the rails. Big G, PCO, do you have anything further to say? Again, you watched TNA recently. You've seen this love story develop.
Exactly, yeah. I when I had watched Against All Odds, that's when I saw, Steph Lander come out and say we to PCO. And like I said before, I have seen PCO wrestle back in Ring of Honor back in the day when he was still in Ring of Honor. But yeah, I feel like Steph Lander is going to come out and help PCO win this match and become digital media champion. So
there you go.
Oh, good grief. Like, you only imagine post-match celebration with those two.
Now, Steph DeLander, she's always been more of a heel character, right?
Yeah, she has.
Especially with Cardona.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with PCO, but like in the back of my head, like I feel like Steph DeLander is gonna turn on PCO eventually.
I feel like okay. So
if you look at every wrestling love story, wrestling triangle, love triangle, some kind of shenanigan, except for Macho Man, Randy Savage, and Miss Elizabeth.
Well, there was that tension, but you're right.
Yeah.
They did come back together in the end, and that was a lovely finale.
Yeah.
No, I'll say this. Yes, it's like every other wrestling angle. I could see it go that way. Should it? Probably not. It should probably just be Matt Cardona turns face and or PCO turns heel, and they're like a super group.
No. I see it. I see it now. When Matt Cardona comes back from injury, he's going to come after PCO for the Digital Media Champion, being a former champion of that title himself, and force Steph the ladder to make a decision. You care more about this guy versus the guy that put you on the map? Just saying.
Yeah.
And it probably will be in a death match, no one of these crazy characters.
She'll be the freaking enforcer of some kind.
Enforcer.
By the way, considering that PCO is fighting Flop Dollar, I know it's not AEW Dynamite in picture, but fuck it anyway.
Damn it, James. All right, fair enough. Well, now that we got the worst match off the card out of the way, that probably should be on the countdown. Darren G, good to see you. Well, I mean, the Mega Powers imploded. You go check that out in the archives too, and we covered that. Let's go ahead and switch gears back to the Knockouts, because I believe this also was announced for the countdown. It's for the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. As I was talking about Zion and Alicia Edwards earlier, the Militia, Macho Slammiversary, Russian Dynamite, and Alicia Edwards, the current TNA Knockouts for Tag Team Champions, defend against the very individuals they beat for those titles. Spitfire, Danny Luna of the Subculture, and of course the Wild Child, Jody Fret, former bouncer from the Belgian Complex in Toronto. The whole thing about Spitfire is, ever since they lost these titles, Lars Fredrickson of Rance have been trying to get them back on that same page and back on those winning ways. Now, there was a bit of stutter steps, and they also were looking for that cohesion to the point they were having a 10-minute clinic against each other before the Militia assaulted them. They got a bit of revenge tonight on TNA Impact, helping Saya Brookside be Alicia Edwards. And I feel like it's one of those situations right now where the system has been rushed over TNA. Eventually, every system crashes or starts failing. And with the system all across the board defending their titles throughout the night, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championship just change hands on a countdown. I think Spitfire could get them back here, and Jody Fred's kind of like a homecoming. And I think there's still that subtle tension with Macho Slavitz and Alicia Edwards, where I think one miscommunication, and that's it. It was miscommunication in the first place that brought us here. I think it ends it. I'm going with new tag champs. Big G, what do you think about this Knockouts tag title match?
How long have Militia been the Knockouts tag champs?
Literally since, I think, Under Siege, which was at the beginning of May.
Okay, so I mean, I saw their match against Marty Bell and Allison Kay.
The heck,
and against All Odds. I've seen them. The single matches was Zaya Brookside the past couple weeks. And I saw the whole Spitfire thing. I'm gonna go with Spitfire too, just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, I'm going with Spitfire. I feel like they really like to hot potato the tag team titles, especially on these shows. So I have a feeling that it's going to happen here.
And like, if you said Noah, like if it was what you said, a miscommunication that won them the titles, it could lead to them losing the titles as well.
Yeah. So, and I still think the premier partner for Macho Slam is Killer Kelly, who, again, still part of TNA, but I wonder when she's coming back and she's done recording her horror movie, Arachnid, Spider-Phobia. So, again, it's just one of those things where I feel like right now the system is flawed, and I think the system is about to show some bugs and crash in the end. I think this is the first phase of that. And thank you, by the way, for those that are tuning across all outlets here at the multiverse of media. I also think Spitfire could definitely bring some potential for these titles in NXT. And I think they also could be longer-term champions. And in previous Slammiversary history, I've seen the tag titles change hands personally. Decay's done it twice over. I once saw it live. So, again, I think these titles are one of the titles here that's definitely likely to change hands. All right. Well, as we go into the main card again, there were several matches made tonight. There's several grudges here, and of course, all the premier championships are on the line. But why don't we go ahead and start with something? That was just announced tonight that might be something, considering it's 1 year since he returned to TNA. out of the blue, we have Mike Santana versus Jake Something one-on-one. Both these men, of course, lobbying to become top-tier singles competitors for a championship here in TNA. I don't understand, James, why Santino Marella did this, but he did it anyway. Mike Santana bludgeoned the JDC, and of course, we'll talk more about that here momentarily. But Jake Something has something, but he's also missing something. Whatever do you put there besides his name? I know it's the worst name possible. Okay,
I swear to God.
I just want to know James with that. So
change your last name.
Keep dreaming. As long as he has that name, he's always going to be something. But we've also seen him reunite with his brother, Diener. And I wonder if they might think about the tag team championships. But I also know he's challenged multiple times for the X Division title. He was involved in the Ultimate X last year at Slammiversary. And this year he had a chance to be part of the 6-way for the Eliminator for the World Championship. But of course, he lost to the man that we'll get to in the end because I don't want to start another gimmick here. I feel like for me, these both men need a win. They're at a crossroads. But I'm not sure what needs to give in the other's favor for one to garner victory. So that being said, without saying the name, James, what do you think of this unique singles exhibition? Both these men right now kind of like are in a state of limbo in TNA. So who needs to win more?
Well, I'm going to go with the obvious because this is how I feel about it. And this is nothing against Jake Something, but if you watch all things, if you look at all things wrestling, I believe Jake is doing things in DPW.
He's currently a tag champion, I believe, with Speedball Mike Billy, to your point.
So yeah, the something Baileys, whatever. They're doing something in DPW with the boys, CM Pulse and John Blood's promotion. So they're doing their thing. Tony Pizza Guy too, shouts out. And then Mike Santana at Prestige Wrestling just took a loss to Shelton Benjamin. So, judging off of that, I feel like one is protected in one company already, and the other one needs to be established, regardless of if it's, you're just talking about the TNA verse. TNA is very much Forbidden Door oriented, has always been since the term was ever coined. So I feel going with that, I have to go with Mike Santana here. I think you have to have him get the win here. He just came into TNA. He's now, getting a singles run. They very much have to capitalize on that because he's harder than he has been in a very long time. I would not get off the gas with him. So I would give Mike Santana the win here. You don't just have a match with Shelton Benjamin as a replacement for Ethan Page, who, by the way, is the NXT champion, and not do something with him. So.
Fair enough. Big G, to that point, Mike Santana came back to TNA at Rebellion, and he and Macklin had a respectable clinic at Under Siege or during a TNA. And of course, they tagged together at Against All Odds, and they won out of respect. And Mike Santana was taken out by JDC, I think on the marching orders by moves of the system, who may believe that Mike Santana is an actual viable threat for the TNA World Championship. So to garner that level of recognition, it does feel like Santana is more probably predicted to get the win here. So what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, Santana, he's always been known as a tag team wrestler, and him going back to TNA as a single star, he needs this resurgence. And he did get the disqualification today against JDC, unfortunately, but tensions were high. And Jake Something, the only match I've seen him in was against Joe Hendry last week. So I'm just going to go with the guy that I know more, and that's Santana. So I'm going to go with Santana for the win. If they want to build him as a credible contender or a credible threat to the system down the road, depending on the main event, you got to go with the bigger star, and Santana is the bigger star out of the two, in my opinion.
I will say, as much as that is true, that depends on if they have him win the title soon. Because with this relationship ever developing with NXT, I
Right.
genuinely can see them bouncing back anyway. And if Moose drops the title, it wouldn't hurt him because he could technically be the one to defeat the undefeated Obafemi anyway for the North American title.
I actually just thinking about Jake something again and thinking about, unique anomalies. I think Jake something at Obafemi would actually be a very unique clinic and would give Obafemi a run for his money.
I agree, except the fact that his name is fucking something.
Oh my god.
And the other guy is Bad MF or Obafemi.
Femi versus something. It rolls off the marquee.
Oh my god. I hate it.
No, as the TNA guy, Noah, has Santana won any singles gold in TNA, or has it always been tag team gold?
Always been tag, LAX.
Okay, LAX. Okay. I wasn't too sure if he ever did have like a singles run during their tag team run, but okay.
No. He had a tag team run as TNA tag team champion. I believe multiple times TNA tag team champion.
With Ortiz,
brothers and the OGs, Homicide and Hernandez, led by Eddie Kingston. Mike Conan was in their corner at one point, having a concrete jungle match in Bound for Glory that literally had them wrestling on the bare boards of the ring. One of the most damnedest things I ever saw.
Oof.
Yeah, it was very dangerous for everybody, including the referee, who almost had his foot slip in between the beams. Very scary. That being said, let's go ahead and move on here to something a bit more perplexing, but maybe Kushida found the antidote and Jonathan Gresham realizes it and wants to neutralize him before he's able to apply it. Once again, we're getting the Octopus Jonathan Gresham versus Kushida, as Kushida might be the biggest opposing threat to the greatest weapon and somebody that once was known as a pure foundation professional wrestling. It's Gresham Kushida 2. After Jonathan Gresham came back with his proverbial third mask, this reincarnated King Nebuchadnezzar and this lethal weapon, this black ink that affects everybody, referee authority and competitor, Kushida, of course, was the first victory with his return. And since then, Kushida's been looking for, I guess, a cure? Working out of a laboratory more bizarre than Doc McFly or somebody from Doctor Who. I don't freaking know. He's definitely not Bill Nye the Science Guy. And I don't know necessarily if Jonathan Gresham is buying into this, but they're rolling with it. So why the heck not? We saw what happened on TNA Impact when Gresham made his presence known to Kushida, fought him to the backstage. So far, we don't know either man got sick or got cured. So we got this match so far for Slammiversary this Saturday. It's one of those things where I also think about matches and robberies like this. They usually go in threes. Gresham won the first. Maybe Kushida found an Achilles heel to the Black Ink. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Kushida gets the win. So that being said, Big G, what do you think about this?
I mean, I've seen Jonathan Gresham wrestle a few times. I saw him, I believe, win the Ring of Honor World title against Jay Lethal back in the day when the title was vacant.
Final battle.
Yeah, final battle. Thank you. And I've been, like I said, I've been watching TNA for a while now. So I like how they go back and like explain everything. That way I understand everything that's going on. And you said Gresham won the first match?
Yeah, he literally made him sick. And it was
right. Okay. And well, typical wrestling booking is 50-50, but with TNA, I'm still not 100% sure on how they, booking wise. But I'm gonna go with Kushida just for shits and giggles.
I shall go with Gresham.
And
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say the last time we also saw Kushida and Gresham prior to night, Jonathan Gresham was fighting Sami Callihan, and Kushida again stopped him from using the Black King, and Sami Callihan wins. So Gresham is also out here looking for a bit of revenge.
Yeah. There you go. Okay, what were you gonna say, Big G?
I was gonna say, how can Gresham wear that mask? That's got to be like
uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it, but like, hey, if he's cool with it, whatever. I will be going opposite and going with Gresham because I feel like his gimmick is very unique. That you kind of want to keep that momentum. I do feel. After seeing what happened on Prestige, I wonder if he may bring other individuals to his side, like possibly Leo Rush, because he's got a bit of a similar transformation gimmick going on. Like he's getting corrupted by something over in New Japan and Prestige. That's been kind of a crossover there. I could see that very well happening. And we know that New Japan is no stranger to working with every promotion at this point. They still reign true to this day. They're working. I think they literally had on their last show MLW, AEW, and TNA on their fucking card. So like, I could very well see them kind of bleeding storylines together. Leo Rush could be one of those people. So yeah, there you go. I'm gonna go with Jonathan Gresham. I'm just curious on where it goes.
Yeah, me too. And again, if he doesn't have the Black Ink, is the Octopus as lethal as his pure foundation in professional wrestling once held him up to be? Again, one of the most notorious Ring of Honor Pure champions and Ring of Honor World champions to big point. The last time we saw that Gresham, though, he lost out in the TNA World Championship against Alex Shelley. Wasn't seen since before coming back in this new, dark, more dangerous demeanor. So, again, very curious where this goes. All right, well, let's go ahead and shift gears towards a match that's going to be very interesting because NXT once again takes the airways, this time on a TNA pay-per-view. Talk about crazy six-man tag team action. We literally have the original Rascals, Wesley, Trey Miguel, Bot, and
Big
of
Boss.
course, Zachary Wentz
There it is.
taking on. Yeah, just look at that for a moment, folks. I kid you not. That's not freaking photocopy. No NXT logo, but yep, it's the Rascals, Trey Miguel, Wesley, and Zachary Wentz taking on No Quarter Catch Crew from NXT. Charlie Dempsey, Tavion Heights, and Miles Bourne. So, simply put, ever since this NXT and A relationship came to fruition, courtesy of the history maker, Juggernaut during Gris, talk about later, we've seen now the men come into TNA and cross the line when Charlie Dempsey assaulted Zachary Wentz, and the match was thrown out. And Zachary Wentz says, "You're not going to come into our home and make a name at our expense." To the point, he challenged him for a one-on-one match, and he paid for it dearly. Charlie Dempsey literally folded the man like a pretzel. So what did the Rascals do? They went to NXT, and we had an MSK reunion elevated into the Rascals, where Wesley looked like he was about to leave and make a really dumb mistake many people were thinking. The Rascals renewed his spirit, and we had the Rascals brought to us in NXT. To the point, we just saw the Rascals beat Gallus. Cannot believe I just said that. Gallus. This past Tuesday on NXT television. Now, what we saw this Thursday, though, just literally a couple hours ago, it was not the Rascals as a trio. It was the Rascals and Kushida. And due to, again, that storyline going on with Jonathan Gresham, Rascals were victims, particularly Zachary Wentz, of the No Quarter Catch crew. But now we are getting the true Rascals, the true trio. True trios cohesion on both sides here. But again, Charlie Dempsey, one of the most lethal competitors, son of Lord William Regal, will be involved in Bloodsport next week. Leads by example. Miles Bourne, and Tavion Heights, they have great cohesion. It was a great combination finish towards the end of the night here tonight. I'm very curious to see what comes out of this for the first time we're seeing NXT without a title involved on a TNA pay-per-view. With the fact that Tavion Heights is going to Pro Wrestling Noah to compete in the M1. Charlie Dempsey is going to Bloodsport. Wesley doesn't know what the future holds in store. He was in the treehouse tonight. Can't believe I saw that. Will he stay around in TNA? Maybe help the Rascals get back to tag title contentions. Maybe Wesley goes out of the X Division Championship, being one of the most notorious North American champions for NXT. Can't challenge for that title again since Oma Femi is the champion. Big G, what do you think about this trios match? Who you got winning, TNA or NXT?
I mean, I'm like you and JJ, I'm sure James too. I'm loving this NXT and A relationship. You know, I think Aaron had posted something on ODQ saying this relationship is working very well because both sides are not selfish. Exactly. It is working. It is work. This is what at
other
the time,
company takes notes. By the way, continue.
Yeah, this is what AEW should have done when TNA had their little relationship going on. But I digress.
Continue.
But yeah, seeing it on NXT, seeing the Rascals show up and convince Wesley not to quit, and then we had that match against our boys Gallus on NXT this past Tuesday. This is something I would have never thought I would have seen. But yeah, and then like seeing them in the treehouse, I had never seen that. It kind of reminded me of that 70s show when they sit in the circle, and it kind of went like that back and forth, and they ended up, finally smoking a little bit of that puff.
Wesley didn't allow that tonight. Wesley apparently is a change man, Seb. We're over that foolishness.
Sure. Yeah. But yeah, and then No Catch Quarter Crew, they won their match tonight. Obviously,
no Quarter Catch Crew, by the way.
You know what I meant. No Quarter Catch Crew, no Catch Quarter Crew.
We talk about WWE production, names, music all the time, but still, but I accept that.
This should be, excuse me, this should be a fun match. And with No Quarter Catch Crew winning tonight, I'm gonna go with the reunion of the Rascals to get the victory here. Wow. Like Emmanuel said, you don't want them to lose with this reunion, the momentum they have going on. So I can see it because I know we were talking about, or you guys were talking about on the TNA or NXT show, how we could see this match potentially happening at the Great American Bash or on Slammiversary, and now here we are a couple of days later, and it's come to fruition. And I think even JJ said when you guys were doing your TNA predictions before the show started, and mentioned, Kushida would get involved somehow or leave the match somehow, and then Wesley would show up, and here we freaking are. So never say never in the wrestling business.
Especially in 2024. I was thinking that Myron Reed was going to show because he's also another Rascal. He's actually TNA-focused Rascal on the independent scene, primarily involved in wrestling Revolver Red.
Yep.
So I was expecting him to show up, or Wesley, but hey, I just wonder, was this match made? Because we know NXT and TNA, they're taped, right? So we had that match tonight. We had that Treehouse segment. Was that Treehouse in NXT or was that in TNA? I'm just saying after this match tonight, just some food for thought. But go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to add too, because the Rascals just reunited, they are going to be there for the long haul of this partnership. Yeah. We just saw what's happening, with the other team. No Quarter Catch Crew's got 50 other things going on individually. Yeah. So they're not going to be here for the long haul. So by default, you have to go with the Rascals. And I do want to point out, and this is just me, fantasy booking for the fuck of it. Could you imagine if they get Matt Riddle back in NXT and he leads the Rascals? I mean, I'm just saying anything's possible. You have Matt Riddle with the fucking other four Rascals. Just let's smoke it up, bro.
Good Lord Almighty! All you're missing is RVD, and you got the biggest party outside 420.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. Get RVD in there too. Why not? All the pot up.
I don't condone that, even though it's legal. All right, just saying.
I know.
But I do agree with both of you. I do think the Rascals get it here, and I'm not even being biased because Trey Miguel is from my hometown, so Ohio represent the Fresh Prince of Midair. It just feels like to me, with them winning, you set up so much potential. Whether they challenge for NXT or TNA Gold, like I said, Wesley could go after the X Championship. Former Desmond Xavier, Rascals, former two-time Impact Tag Team Champions. They could go after the NXT Tag Team Championships when Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz have not worked as a tag team in NXT, but NSK, of course, are former Dusty Cup winners and former NXT Tag Team Champions. Yeah. So there's definitely that opportunity there on both sides with the Rascals winning. So I have to go with the Rascals as well.
Does anybody else? Oh, sorry, James.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Does anybody else think that Trey Miguel looks like Ricochet?
Oh,
their resemblance.
He does.
Okay, it's just like it's just a little bit of the resemblance. I'm like,
here's the difference. One's addicted to pot, the other one's addicted to speed. Get the pun?
Funny. No, because I didn't meet Trey Miguel, but I know he was at a meet and greet at one of the Celeb Fest or Legends of Icons, whatever meet and greets I was there, I'm like, this guy looks like Ricochet. Just
He's
younger and short.
Fearless. Yeah, he's definitely fearless, and he's also bouncy. I need Trey Miguel versus Javon Evans now.
He's
oh my god,
fearless and bouncy. Look at the adjectives.
Just saying.
Yeah, it's true.
I've also met him a number of times at an independent wrestling show in the Bystander here, a promotion led by Rhino here in Michigan area, Insane Wrestling Revolution. If y'all in the area, check it out when you can. That being said, let's go ahead and move on from something that's going to be, I feel, rather fun to engage in with interpromotional warfare to something that's going to feel damn right personal. And I think deletion is going to take a whole different meaning. It's JDC versus Broken Matt Hardy. For those that don't know, JDC, he's the former Fandango. One half of the Fashion Police, got to beat Chris Jericho at WrestleMania. Just saying. Also, the previous Dirty Dango, still dirty as the day is long. Probably a parasite more than an actual virus in the system. But has been basically working with the Scissors to the point he's preserved the tattoos for Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards on numerous occasions, including the night against the Hardys. But that wasn't the only thing he did on their behalf, including screwing Mike Santana out of the TNA Slammiversary six-way eliminator.
Oh, it's just a six-man tag, the other one?
Yeah, no, we're doing the JDC versus Matt Hardy on one. You're fine, brother. Yeah. But apparently he assaulted Matt Hardy's wife. So Rebby Hardy and Jeff Hardy are both injured due to JDC's actions and the system and how it works. Now, the fact that Matt Hardy came back home to TNA broken at Rebellion, tried to break moose in a Broken Rules match against odds and failed. And now his family has literally been injured by the system. He once said you can't break what's already broken. How do you break something that's already broken? I guess you break emotionally. I think Matt Hardy is going to go extreme here on JDC, and I think Matt Hardy is going to do more than just delete the man. I think he's going to damn right try to injure him. I'm going with Matt Hardy on this one. And hell, have no fury on the leader of the Broken Universe. Big G, your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, with JDC interfering tonight against the Hardys, I kind of wanted the Hardys to win just to have that feel-good moment and have their one final run in TNA as tag team champions. But if I'm mistaken, they're not signed by TNA, are they? Is it more of a handshake deal?
As far as I know, and according to the most reliable source I know, Cassie Studios, he said that they are not signed, and I think it is based on appearance deal right now. But I would not rule out this evolving into one last run for the Hardys.
Right. Right. But anyways, I'm gonna, with everything that's happened in the past couple of weeks, going back to against all odds with the system, I'm gonna go with Broken Matt Hardy to win here as well.
Mm-hmm. And James, even further add, do you think Willow maybe shows up? You've been waiting for Willow to return. Does Willow show up and maybe destroy JDC? Because I think Brother Nero is far more than just obsolete at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put it to you this way. I feel that this definitely has to go in the way of not just NXT collaborating with TNA. Now, granted, I know it's not, they don't have as many eyes on TNA as they would on WWE programming, but the whole Broken Hardys gimmick absolutely has Wyatt being a part of the Wyatt Six written all over it. Even in a honorary member situation, I feel like they have to go that road at some point. And I mean, if he's on a handshake deal, I'd say let Matt Hardy be the one to be a free agent and have him kick this prohibitive portal wide open.
Yeah, I think they both are. I think they're both free agents still.
Yeah, so that's what I'd do. I'd actually have the system retain here just as a result of that, because I feel like even though you're gonna eventually revisit this anyway, that's the long and short of it. Oh, wait, hold on. You're calling a cat, and now we got to give you the solo shot.
Nah, he's not listening. Come here, Joker.
Joker.
No, he's
jokes on you, James. Thinking you were gonna get a cat
shot. Hey, maybe we'll get a cat cameo.
Possibly. Shout out to Josh Mansfield. Thanks for tuning in. Shout out to Cleveland Combatant. All right. So that being said, we all are unanimous with the broken universe, and we think that Matt Hardy is going to delete JDC.
Yes.
No, he's not gonna delete him. He's gonna effing murder this mother effer.
Yeah.
He's gonna murder him.
You attack a man's life.
The Hardys can go on another expedition of gold, provided that Jeff Hardy doesn't actually get broken in real life. Knock on wood.
Well, I mean, he loses himself. He can go back to being Willow because, again, we laugh, we cry.
Dude, I'm like, look, folks, like, I understand like people getting excited about this. I have stayed by my stance. I don't give a fuck what Jeff Hardy does, and by extension, Matt either. I'm just over it. I'm sorry. Like, unless Matt is going to like be a free agent and try to kick the forbidden door wide open, I could see that happening, and that's great if he does that. But Jeff is a lost fucking cause, and I've given up on him just as much as I've given up on the Elite. So, like, whatever.
Well, you're your own person, man. I respect your opinion, but I always believe that people can definitely find resolution if they choose the right resource. And that goes to anybody, not just somebody in the wrestling industry. And speaking of wrestlers, shout out to Colin King. Get well soon. That being said, let's go ahead and move on. All we got left is literally championship matches. And again, I talked about, is this the night that the system finally fails? Let's start with the TNA World Tag Team Championships. As we knew, botch. As we
oh knew. My God. I thought, well, you said the system, so I'm trying to, I guess we don't
like,
don't worry about it. You know what? All the botches, damn it. All the botches.
Is the system corrupting you over there, James? Is the why it's six
or
he's using McAfee and Norton, which is probably why his antivirus is corrupted as it is. Those
it's called I was not given any graphics ahead of time to be able to produce the show.
Well, that's okay.
It's
who needs graphics nowadays? It's all in our head. Okay.
I'm about to say, if people can't visualize what we're talking about, then clearly we're not doing enough, because that's what commentary is. You lead the blind through what you get. And by the way, he said, and I quote, I sent all the images. Yeah, he did. He literally sent all the images that he had. But again, uploading them, JJ, it's a whole different animal.
Oh, did he? Oh, God damn it. I'm just...
Double bots! Apologies. Let's keep going, folks. It's all right, James. You got this, bro. I hold nothing against you.
This is live, people. No second.
We're live, folks. We're live. We're more uncensored than Tony Schiavone. Damn, he went.
He literally did say. And by the way, he did send me all the images. Like, yeah.
All right. Well, if you want to try and upload whatever's left, which is just the championship matches, let's continue here. TNA World Tag Team Championships. Can the system be beaten? That simply is the question. Josh saying, congratulations, you bought yourself, James. Give this man a participation certificate that says that.
I did watch myself. I absolutely did.
At least he tried. We need to upload a missed participation award for James now.
Oh, thanks.
Why am I Eddie Edwards defend the goal? Sorry, bro.
Much appreciated. Hey, I took time out of my goddamn day to produce for you. All right.
I had nothing to do with that.
I know, but goddamn.
Oh God, I love this.
Give me some break here, bro.
We're messing with you, man. We mess with you because we appreciate you.
I know.
All right. Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards defend the gold against the ABC. Chris Bay and Ace Austin, they, of course, have been the champions. Oh Lord, I can't breathe.
Here it is, a graphic. Woohoo!
All right, we got graphics. We got graphics. All right. Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers of the system defend the TNA World Tag Team Champions against the ABC. Chris Bay and Ace Austin. This is a contractually obligated rematch. The system have been the tag champs now for 133 days since beating the ABC back at Sacrifice. Wins now over the Hardys, with disqualification, Morris the Machine Guns, and Speedball Mountain. The ABC, they wasn't sure exactly if they wanted to continue this pursuit, let alone think they were ready. To the point, they faced each other one-on-one just to rebuild that chemistry. And after beating Josh Alexander and Eric Young, not to mention a triple threat impromptu number contenders match against the Rascals and the Deaners, Cody Deaner and Jake Something, they felt that this was finally the time that they could regain the gold. We've seen it done before with their war with the Rascals last year when they won back the tag titles at Bound for Glory. I'll say it once, I'll say it again. It's Slammiversary, the death of the system. Does the system fail? We already talked about the Knockouts Tag Team Championships changing hand. Are we going to change hands here with another set of tag team titles? That being said, Big Baller G, first off, do you even trust the system? And whether or not you do or you don't, does the system fail here?
Oh, I haven't really watched TNA that much. Oh, well, like what the past month now it's been almost
Against
so
month.
So I don't trust in the system.
Man.
But as far and I did see when I did watch Against All Odds, I did see ABC get their victory over Josh Alexander and Eric Young. In the triple threat match, three-way dance, whatever you want to call it. And if the champs have been champs for over 130 some odd days now, I mean that's a lengthy title reign in itself. So I'm gonna go with ABC here. I am familiar with Chris Bay. I have seen him wrestle once or twice down in Maryland Championship Wrestling. So, and Ace Austin, from what I've seen in the past month, I mean the guy looks like he knows what he's doing. So I'm gonna go with ABC to get the win here and be new tag team champions.
Fair enough. I mean, people have compared Ace Austin to a young, phenomenal AJ Styles. At one point, people thought it was inevitable he would be the youngest TNA World Champion, and that's still up for debate. But it sounds like right now they want to continue leading the tag team division, and they've been one of the hottest tag teams in TNA now for the last year and a half. So, James, what's your thoughts on this? At one point, you and I thought for sure the ABC were about to go their separate ways, and that certainly doesn't seem to be the case. I would think a win here would cement the fact they would stay as a tag team, and they have not shown any cheeks in the armor or any tensions as of late. So, do you also agree with new tag champs here?
I think they need to go with new tag teams. And solely for the fact of it's the argument that I gave the Mike Santana treatment. Like, okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. These two are technically still a part of Bullet Club. God damn, is that faction a mess? Let's just call it as we see it. Look, great for the War Dogs doing their thing. Great for Bullet Club Gold doing their thing. But holy shit, we got 3 companies that all are Bullet Club, and they're all doing their own thing, and nobody's talking to each other.
Technically 4. NWW, AEW, WWE, and TNA.
Is there a WWE one? Oh my god.
The OC.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
You forgot the Good Brothers were a part of Bullet Club, bro? Former original members, IWGP Tag Team Champions.
Okay, if you get the OC and AJ Styles back together and have them lead the Bullet Club to do an invasion to kick this prohibitive portal, I take back everything I said. But until that happens, goddamn, please fix it. So, yes, I'm going with ABC to win just because they absolutely need to. There's already been enough dissension in the Bullet Club. We don't need more.
I mean, at this point, the better question is, what does the people think Bullet Club is at this point? Who's their Bullet Club? You choose, folks.
There's plenty of Bullet Clubs to choose from, apparently.
I mean, go whatever fits your arsenal the best, I guess. Which one has the most ammo or the strongest impact? You tell me. That being said, I do think the ABC get him back here. I think Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers have had a great run as tag champs. To Big G's point, it's been over 4 months, but it's one of those things that the ABC are going to continue as a tag team, and they've been on this journey, this road to redemption. I kind of feel like they need to win here, otherwise they might as well be disbanded. So if they don't win here, that might as well be the last time you see ABC as easy as 1, 2, 3. I'm going with new tag champs for the time being. All right. Well,
now, real quick before we continue, we mentioned the Bullet Club. I'm going to just say it here because there's not going to be another opportunity to say it, and I know this is deviating from the actual show, but I have to point this out.
What,
Tony? Why did you strip the Bang Bang Gang, the Bullet Club Gold, of the fucking trios titles? It makes no sense when you have a guy that could just slide into fucking Jay White's spot where he probably should have been to begin with if he wasn't injured. Just freebird the shit.
Freebird.
I don't think Tony knew about the Freebird rule.
I think Freeborn.
No, that's bullshit, Big D. I'll tell you exactly why.
Oh God, here we go off the rails.
Oh no!
Because Tony is a savant for wrestling. He's seen the Memphis shit. He's seen the ECW shit. He's seen WWF. There has always been some variation of the Freebird rule in every single fucking area he's ever watched pro wrestling. You cannot use that excuse that I don't think Tony Khan was smart here. No, bullshit. He knew there was a Freebird rule. He knew exactly what the fuck that was. Everybody was screaming at him, give the belt to Juice and let Jay White be a singles. They didn't say, oh, you should strip the belts of him. Fuck you, Tony.
And that folks is your Jay Hebert side of things, courtesy of Super Dicting. Thank you for tuning in.
I just want the Bullet Club to do fucking well. That's what I want, okay? Too hard to ask.
You know, there's a good song out there that says you can't always get what you want. You might want to look it up. But that being said, while you might want something for the Bullet Club, Ash by Elegance wants something she's been hunting ever since coming to TNA. Let's talk about the Knockouts World Championship, where you could have got Sendai Girls, Marigold, WWE, NXT, somebody else in the TNA locker room. You got this. We have Jordynne Grace, the history maker, the trailblazer, the juggernaut, the most prolific women's champion right now in professional wrestling business, not named Roxanne Perez, defending the most prestigious title in women's wrestling, the TNA Knockouts World Championship, against Ash by Elegance with her personal concierge in her corner. Fuck my life if this happens. Okay, simply put, Ash by Elegance arrived in TNA, as we know, and she's been pretty much put over as the hottest thing since sliced bread. I think this bread got moldy, though, the day it came out of the package. That being said, she's really being every jobber possible now in the Knockouts division with one legitimate knockout division win over Jessica Havoc and what James deemed, and I quote, the worst Knockouts match he's ever seen. His silence speaks volumes, folks. But it's still a former TNA Knockouts World Champion that she beat. Her only loss so far is against Sarah Brookside, who knocked her out with her cheap cosmetic costume jewelry. We've seen Jordynne Grace, though, on the other side of things, ever since beating the Virtuosa Diana Purrazzo last year, winning the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, making history in that, winning the TNA Knockouts World Championship against Trinity at Hard to Kill, and being the face of TNA to the point she is literally the beacon of the Prohibited Portal's birth in the first place. Started back in the Royal Rumble and defended that title against Roxanne Perez, looking to get the NXT championship in the name of pride and interpromotional history. But thanks to that party crasher, Ash by Elegance, that didn't happen. She's even challenged NXT women's locker room, Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dane. At this point, though, who in their not right mind believes that Ash by Elegance has a snowball's chance in hell of beating Jordynne Grace for this Knockouts World Championship? Give me a fucking break. The only other thing to say here is Rosemary's been stalking or thinking or planning something against the concierge, I think. And I think it has something to do with the fallout with Decay being no more and Havoc literally broken. I'm not sure what the hell to expect from Rosemary right now, but it sounds like she's looking to take the concierge to a darker place than the undead realm if such a place exists. But I feel this is the safest match on the card to call. If Ash by Elegance wins this title, fuck everything. That being said, BG, what's your thoughts on this TNA Knockouts World Championship match?
First of all, like, what kind of name is Ash by Elegance? Where did Dana? I'm gonna call her Dana Brooke. Where the fuck did she get that name from? Anyways, as JJ says, dimeless Dana Brooke.
Insult to dimes. I'm just saying.
And
I have a dime, and
this personal concierge thing makes me want to punch him in the face every time I hear his voice.
Rude.
Right.
But yeah, Jordynne Grace has been on a run ever since she beat Trinity for the title. She's, went to the Royal Rumble, went to NXT, went to Battleground, has fought two NXT superstars in the past couple weeks.
And she just came from Tokyo defending her title there in Sendai Girls.
And I saw the picture with her and AJ Styles finally getting their jackets. But yeah, I'm gonna go Jordan Grace to win here. I don't want if WWE didn't see anything in Dana Brooke, like what is TNA seeing her?
Okay, first off, I will say this because there is the one caveat of the wrestling business to play devil's advocate for a moment, because as an unbiased play-by-play guy, I have to look at both sides fairly. The one thing we always say about TNA and the knockouts, they are where you truly can find yourself.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the issue that we have ran into with this.
Do tell.
Jordan is obviously going to win. Nobody's betting against a juggernaut. Okay, no.
Unless you're literally on something higher than anything RVD can give you.
Well, you probably insulted some certain percentage on your prediction poll, but I digress. But yes, probably accurate. Nonetheless, I say that because this is going to be a showcase for Ash, believe it or not.
Right.
She is going to show out what the hell the WWE has missed out on. See, the issue with Dana Brooke, and I think a lot of people don't realize this, is that she's supremely improved in the ring since her days in NXT.
Oh yeah.
Like, and it's a shame that she never got to show it. It's a shame that WWE never took her request for a women's championship, television championship, seriously in the WWE, which is basically the catalyst why she said, "I'm just done recommending it. I don't give a fuck. Just I'm waiting for my contract to last."
Do you think that she's maybe just been playing everybody all along with her TNA showcasing underwhelming in-ring performances to actually show what she's truly capable of on the grandest stage? Now she has a World Championship Slammiversary.
I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Yeah,
like Naomi, for instance.
Yeah, like the problem is if you watch her main event matches, and I don't blame you if you don't watch WWE main event. God forbid, like holy shit, she actually had good matches. She actually improved a lot.
Yeah,
you never got to see any of that because WWE didn't do a goddamn thing with it. They gave up when she didn't live up to the hype that they put on her way too fucking soon.
Right.
You could blame that on both parties, really, but the fact of the matter is she was not ready yet. She's ready now.
Yeah.
It's just a fucking shame that we have to do it in this go-away heat angle in this character. And let's not kid ourselves. That's exactly what this is.
That's probably why she did it intentionally.
Well, yeah, but there's a difference between good heat and go-away heat. Like, anytime I see her, I want to turn off my television. Like, anytime I see Dana Brooke, anytime I see Timeless Dana come on my screen, I want to smash my head through a monitor. Anytime I see Ash by elegant her way to the ring, I want to just saunter away in sadness. Okay? It's awful. It's so bad.
Okay.
It's such a shit gimmick. That's the issue we are in now. It's such a heated gimmick, but it's the wrong kind of heat. It's not the good kind. It's like this isn't X-Pac heat where X-Pac actually got very good heat and it's like nobody tuned out. No, this is like people who are like, the fuck is going on with this? Please get it off my TV.
The freaking symbol of a bygone era. But to conclude, though, you do think Ash will give our best match yet in TNA, maybe in her wrestling career, but you do have Jordan Grace retaining, right? I
have Jordan Grace retaining. She has to. I mean, unless, of course, we're going to get Emelina to fucking make a cameo. And this Emelina will come in for Ash by Elegance and interfere on her behalf, and then they'll both run amok. But I think that's a long shot of happening.
Please don't put that out in the ether is all I got to say to that. And I'm curious to see who confronts the Juggernaut next, whether in and out of TNA. And I think Michelle Shaw, again, is a key prime candidate to beat her. But also, let's keep in mind, guys, Trinity did actually beat the Virtuosa last year at Slammiversary in her first ever submission loss. So, damn the things that happen in TNA for the Knockouts division. Just saying. All right. Well, while I trust Jordan Grace is going to retain, let's see if you still believe in this campaign of a political figure more trustworthy than Donald Trump. For in Ali, do you trust as the X Division Championship is on the line? Mustafa Ali, by the way, still undefeated over 9 months across the wrestling business. Goes one-on-one defending the X Division Champion against Speedball Mike Bailey, one of the most prolific wrestlers in the world, and a former X Division champion. So, simply put, when Mustafa Ali signed to TNA, I was like, yeah, this is the match I want to see. Literally, Mustafa Ali is the guy that Speedball Mike Bailey collided with in Prestige Wrestling. Man, I need to know your schedule next time, bro. I'm just going to say this right now. Super predicting TNA is going to become a standard now going forward after TNA Go Home show. So keep that in mind, folks. That being said, again, Speedball Mike Bailey once held this title for literally 100 plus odd days across 7 defenses for Frank Azaria and beat him. While Mustafa Ali beat Chris Sabin at No Surrender in the main event, made history, and started this worldwide campaign defending the title in and out of TNA against the likes of Ace Austin and Trent Seven, just to name a couple. He also has literally politic campaigned his way, dirty-wise, as of course I got exposed at against a lot of some very horrible audio feedback on how important he is to himself versus what he is to the X Division and the X Division Championship. It's literally to stroke his ego bigger than all ego Ethan Page. Still can't believe that guy's the NXT champion. I look at this and I think about Speedball Mike Bailey being a future world champion and knowing the X Division champion still has option C. Maybe this is the avenue you approach, but I also think everybody's got to get beaten eventually. I think Slammiversary is a reset point for TNA as it's been in the past years. I think this is where we once again reset the landscape. And after everything Ali has thrown against Speedball Mike Bailey, including attacking Trent Seven and using special surface against him and a nightstick, I think Speedball right now is the best candidate to beat Mustafa Ali for the X Division Championship as of this moment. I got a new champion. That being said, Big G, what do you think about this match? The title has defined TNA literally since its existence.
Right. This should be a very fast-paced match. I mean,
politely,
I've seen Speedball Mike Bailey again down in MCW back in the day before his TNA days. And Ali, his history with WWE, so I'm very familiar with him as well. But yeah, you're right. After the past couple of weeks, what he's done to Trent Seven and what he did tonight, I'm gonna go with Speedball. Oh my god, I can't talk. I'm gonna go with Mike Bailey to win the X Division title here.
I agree with this wholeheartedly. I think it's probably going to be unanimous, but I feel like he's got to win. He's got to win. This is good on Ali for making that X Division title mean something. He was long overdue for a singles run for a championship, by the way.
Yeah.
So about damn time for him. But yeah, overall, I think it's time, and I think it's time for Speedball to finally get his reward for being one of the hardest working men in the independent circuit today. So I think you reward him with the next.
Oh yeah, I'm just waiting for Ali to show up in NXT one of these days.
Yeah,
to bring that global campaign to NXT.
Dude, I would love that.
I mean, hell, he's been everywhere else. New Japan Pro Wrestling. Don't forget, he faced Leo Rush before he became the Blackhawk. He beat Hiromu Takahashi, of course, in one of the craziest matches we ever saw, including the assistance of Daryl the Cat. So, I mean, James, we called that, remember? Freaking Liddy Riot. That was ridiculous. The guy literally has been undefeated globally across wrestling ever since starting this worldwide campaign. But clearly he sees Speedball Mike Bailey as the biggest threat. We've been talking about he's been ducking and dodging this man for months. Arguably, if it wasn't for the fact they literally picked his ankle, I think Speedball would have beat Trent Seven, would have had this match against all odds. So I think Speedball is the Achilles heel. There's always candidate B to candidate A. I think Speedball is that guy.
It's funny you say Achilles heel because Speedball does not wear shoes.
Yeah, I know, right? But he still can kick your damn face off, even if you're wearing sunglasses. Good grief.
That's true. Bro, he wears bare feet kick pads, bro. It's crazy.
I mean, black belt in martial arts. I mean, the guy's lethal. All right, just saying, he is lethal.
Jay Lethal?
Well, I don't know if he's that good, but he probably could surpass him with how much he's working. Dadgummit.
Yeah, unfortunately. Put Jay Lethal back on TV, damn it.
Right? Well, anyway, had a lot of talk, a lot of fun. We talked a lot about this card. We talked a lot about Slammiversary, the importance of this show, the cues that could happen. Are we in for a phenomenal night of action? But that being said, let's go ahead and move right into our main event. For do you still believe the system works? Do you trust the system? And can the face of the franchise literally beat a who's who of TNA? Here we go, folks. TNA World Championship 6-way elimination match. That's right. Everybody has to pinfall submit one another. Last man left is the TNA World Champion. Your field is as follows. Former TNA World Champion, the longest reigning TNA World Champion in this company's history, Josh Alexander, who lost the title only due to injury. He never got pinned or submitted for it. Frank Kazarian, who has never won the big one, previously faced Josh Alexander for that title and came up short. Josh Alexander qualified for this beating Eric Young. Frank Kazarian qualified for this beating Mike Santana via countout thanks to JDC. The one-man Nick Nemeth, who came to TNA, sending moves into the danger zone, facing the man for the title at Rebellion, only to come up short thanks to the system. Steve Mackin, who beat Sami Callihan, a former TNA World Champion in the heel zone right before losing it to Alex Shelley. And, of course, if I don't say his name, it's a damn crime, right? Do you believe? Then the last person that qualified, beating Jake something, Joe Hendry, who is the longest reigning digital media champion, and do not call him a joke. Damn it. Joe Coffey. And, of course, the face of the franchise, the man defending the gold himself, the face of TNA, Moose, who won this title off Alex Shelley at Hard to Kill. So, guys, because of the fact it is a six-way field, as we do in traditional predictions, I'm going to allow you 2 picks. Your primary worth 2, your secondary worth 1. But remember, it's the last person left. That's the TNA World Champion. The fact of the matter, that's his entire field features a balance of former TNA World Champions and those that never reached the summit. You got the most motivational. You got the biggest chip on your shoulder, bigger than Mount Everest on Frank Kazarian. You got probably the most hungry and determined in Nick Nemeth, who, by the way, is facing a torn labrum, but is medically clear to compete this Saturday at Slammiversary, despite Kazarian's assault on him, and he wasn't part of the contract signed tonight. And by the way, that contract signing ended tonight with Moose going through the table. Just saying, by Joe Hendry via standing ovation. That being said, let's go ahead and get y'all's thoughts in chat. Let your voices be known, who you believe in, and does the system finally be taken down? JG, I start with you. Who are your 2 picks to be the TNA World Champion? Does the face of the franchise finally be dethroned? Do you believe? Do you go with somebody completely unexpected? Or at the end of the day, is it more of the same?
All right. So for my second pick, I'm going to go with who I think the dark horse in this match is. I'm going to go with Kazarian for my second pick. Like you said, he's never won the big one.
Nope.
You know, he came back to TNA a couple years ago after leaving AEW. And, you know, Frankie's been there pretty much since day one in TNA back in the day. So, yeah, he's my dark horse. As sort of my primary, oh my God, I don't know. Like, so Moose has been champion for over how long? 200?
He's been champion since January when he had Hard to Kill January 13th. He's the face of TNA. He literally won in the first TNA pay-per-view main event since TNA was brought back to life.
Okay.
He is also a technically 3-time with an asterisk world champion.
Right. Even though one was recognized till later, he is technically 3-time, and he's already beaten the likes of, again, Alex Shelley, Matt Hardy, Nick Nemeth.
Yeah.
Next you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lengthy title reign as in itself, but
6 months.
6 months, yeah. I mean, honestly, nobody's ever gonna beat. This is like totally off, but nobody ever is gonna beat Roman Reigns' 4-year title reign, whatever company you're in. Just for the hell of it, I'll go. I believe in Joe Hendry. I feel like Joe Hendry is really hot right now. You know, him being exposed on NXT the past couple weeks. You know, and him eventually, and he said, and like he said, he'll show up in NXT anytime. So
Show up anywhere, anytime.
anytime. So yeah, second pick Kazarian, first pick Joe Hendry.
Well, you believe. He said his name. That being said, James, ball's in your court right now. Again, Kazarian, 6-time X Division champion. And, of course, Joe Hendry, longest reigning digital media champion with a victory over Moose. Just want to put that out there, by the way, folks. And, of course, Johnson also has victories over Moose, Kazarian. He has victories over most of this field, by the way, except Joe Hendry. He and Joe Hendry have never faced her one-on-one. But I think Josh Alexander believes a little bit in Joe Hendry after that little bit of a help tonight at the end of that contract signing and the sort of give up the contract. I almost feel like Joe Hendry, he is believed more by the people than by TNA. And that might say something towards the result here when you consider, again, where Joe Hendry has gotten to in his wrestling career. The most viral wrestler right now in the business. Just saying. James, the floor, ball's in your court, man. How are we on Slammiversary? Who is the face of TNA by the end? Your 2 picks.
I mean, it's got to be what Big G said. It has to be either Frankie or Joe Hendry. Obviously, I'm going with the same secondary and primary. Now, the only wild card in this whole thing, by the way, I hear noise. I don't know from who. But this is my thought process. There is the wild card of Josh Alexander. And I say that because you could have it be Joe, because Joe should be the top guy in this entire merger right now, or this entire promotion, partnership, whatever you want to call it. He's got to be the face of this. So you have to have him win both titles. I agree with Emmanuel wholeheartedly. I've seen him say it in the chat. I've seen Daniel say something similar. He's got to win. But there's the history between Josh Alexander and Ethan Page.
Mm-hmm.
So the North could implode, and they could be on opposite ends as champions. So
even Page wanted that spot. Even Page wanted that spotlight that Josh Alexander always had, similar to what Trick Williams did against Kamala Case. And now Trick is back in the dark.
Yeah, so like I'll stick with it, but I am worried that they may go that direction just because of the history. I feel like if the goal is to make TNA be shown to multiple eyes, as many eyes as possible, you go with the guy that's most over. That guy is Joe Hendry. It's Joe Hendry. Like, you have to have him win the title here. This is your perfect out to get out of this system direct and have, like, Moose go for the North American title and dethrone Obafemi or something. That way you can at least really make this like, hey, we are treating the TNA guys like even better than our own guys right now to make TNA look better in NXT.
I mean, yeah.
So I could see them going that direction here.
Yeah.
BG, you have a thought? Because here's my thought. Maybe just talk a little bit to both of you.
Mm-hmm.
You know how much we believe, all of us believe, in Joe Hendry, except King, still a hater. Stop it, damn it, stop it. It's his first world championship match in TNA, and honestly, his first world championship match in a long damn time. The fact of the matter, yes, I said his name. The fact of the matter, this man is so damn over without even being a champion. Goes to the power and the start you put into this guy. I almost wonder if the title right now is just more of a crutch in pursuit versus him holding it. We talked about with, if you want to cross the line, talk about our worlds, him and Adam Page. We were more involved in the chase than we were in the victory.
Yeah.
Mayweather got the victory to begin with. I almost feel like Joe Hendry, again, he's one of those that right now should be champion, but doesn't need it. To your point, if they're going to do more NXT versus TNA, even Paige is the face of NXT. Josh Alexander's getting the face of TNA. Boom, there's your world champion versus world champion match. Just something to think about while I'm still there on my picks. But BG, you have something to add?
No, I was gonna say, like what James was saying, like, you know, No Quarter Catch Crew, they won on TNA. Here the Rascals went on NXT. So like anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And I know I sound like a broken record, but I'm gonna keep on saying it because first of all, I want to say this. Nobody ever thought on their bingo card that Big G would be on a TNA prediction show. And then, you know, this is a free Vince McMahon world.
Praise God.
Yep.
You know,
yeah,
like none of this NXT TNA stuff would be happening. None of WWE working with Bloodsport. None of WWE working with the promotions over in Japan. You know, or vice versa. You know, this, like Noah said, we are living in a different world. This is a different. Like nobody thought on their bingo card for 2024 would we be seeing NXT TNA.
No,
right?
No. And the thing with this is, and while I totally understand your thought process with Josh and you know, Ethan, my thing is Joe Hendry's too damn over to be stale. And that's the thing. Everywhere he's gone, he has proven that to be the case. Right. Why wouldn't you put your main championships on a guy like that? That's my thing.
The Anthem exec at the end of the day. That's my thing. Remember, that's Scott D'Amore.
Dude, he was so over that the arena rumbled in the NXT Metroplex, whatever they're calling it now.
I don't even know what the hell that is.
Like,
yeah, it's not full sale anymore.
That is a natural shake. That was no artificial shake. That was real, like everyone was losing their shit type energy.
Just like in France, yeah.
You cannot just ignore that. You can't. No. He is money. He is money for the long term for both of these companies. He is making both companies infinitely richer with just him being alone. Like, he's getting that single to #1, and I'm sure WWE's getting some of that cut along with TNA. I'm not just saying that to joke. I'm saying that for real.
No. Serious. He's damn serious.
Like, yeah. That's a lot of drawing power just from just your charisma alone, dude.
Before Noah makes his picks, I know so Joe Hendry, you know, NXT, you know, they know him very well. We could say this for open mic night or whatever, but I just want you guys to think about it. How over would Joe Hendry be on the main roster on a SmackDown or Raw?
That's a whole
different playground.
Here's the problem. He would smash.
And the PLEs. We have seen signs.
Yeah.
Clearly, there is some belief there.
He'd smash it. Everybody, I saw people that were saying this like on the air, and I'll say if we make it a discussion on open mic night, there's a topic I get for you today. But like for me, I saw people say he wouldn't do well because he wouldn't have all the creative freedom in the world. I'm like, excuse you? Like, that shit's perfect for him there. Dude, they're not going to turn away free money-making machine Joe Hendry, who can make a banger song in literally a week's time. You got your next Jim Johnson. I'm not even kidding. You got your next Jim Johnson in Joe Hendry. Get this guy on the payroll. You can have this guy wear multiple hats. Like, this guy is the next face after Cody Rhodes' reign is over. Mark my fucking words on this video right now. Mark my words on this video.
Clip it, James. Clip it.
I'll clip it right now.
1 hour, 24 minutes, and 8 seconds. You heard it first in media.
He is going to be the most over thing in the pro wrestling business. I've been saying it since I first saw him in WCPW. I was Joe Hendry before Joe Hendry was cool. Okay, I'm a hipster Joe Hendry fan.
Same.
All right, I've been seeing this guy when he was doing the shit on ICW. I saw his Foo Fighters entrance. It's one of the greatest entrances of all time. This guy is so damn talented. He's got musical talent. He's got wrestling talent. He's got the mic ability, the charisma. He has got levels like above most people in the wrestling industry. You don't not tap into that. If you are a wrestling promoter and your goal is to make money, that should be the number one goal. Joe Hendry is the moneymaker.
Yeah.
He's a moneymaker.
Yeah. Well, I definitely can see your point, but again, I just wonder how you also look at the rest of the field here. And Moose, again, you're thinking about Moose for Femi. That is a way for Moose to cross the line to NXT, and it doesn't necessarily affect him being the TNA World Champion if Femi sends him with a fall from grace powerbomb, or Moose does the unthinkable and becomes the new NXT North American Champion. I look at Frank Kazarian, though, as the biggest chip on his shoulder since Mount Everest, who's been looking for his first TNA World Championship since I can last remember. Nick Nem has been trying to beat the system his whole life, and I honestly don't know if that's even possible at this point for the Wanted Man after losing the IWGP Gold Championship back to David Finlay in New Japan. And then there's Steve Maclin, where I do think Steve Maclin and Josh Alexander, they will never be settled with one another till they have a one-on-one match involving that TNA World Championship, which literally leaves what I said earlier, the two men I've been figuring out the most, Moose and Joe Hendry. The fact of the matter, though, also Joe Hendry likes being involved in NXT, and apparently we're going to see him more often, but I guess Joe Coffey doesn't like that. I'm just going to put it out there, guys. I think we're getting Joe Coffey versus Joe Hendry during the Great American Bash. I can really see that happening.
Yeah.
We're revisiting Prestige? Jesus.
I think so, man. I really do.
Okay.
And that being said, I also look at the fact that Gallus does not like Joe Hendry. They don't believe.
No shit, because Joe Coffey doesn't like Joe Hendry.
What if Gallus shows up and screws Joe Hendry here at Slammiversary?
Oof.
That's a big possibility, yeah.
See, why you gotta be rude? You're all Scottish. Just be friends.
Well,
the Scots love to fight. So.
About saying
you can have like Wolfgang on drum. You could have Wolfgang on drums. You could have Mark Coffey on the bass. You could have Joe Coffey doing the guitar, and then you could have Joe Hendry sing along. You could call it the Gallus Band. It would be great. Gallus Band on top.
Gallus Band.
Oh my God.
Endorsed by Drew McIntyre. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Yes. Could you? No, he'll be the metal scream vocalist. He'll be like.
Oh my God. Or no, make your picks before we just go even more off the rails.
Hold on. I think this is an appropriate time to plug my hopefully newest shirt.
Oh my God.
Very soon.
Oh
I do really cool and tough things on the internet.
Oh boy. Oh
Jesus.
my God. Welcome to City BG. God bless you. Hope this is not your last time. You've been
it won't be. It won't be.
Simply put, the two men here that I believe represents and can be recognized the best with the TNA World Championship, just based off that, because there's so much else going on for all the others between rivalries being over, etc. I want Slammiversary to be that moment for Joe Hendry so damn badly. So I have to go with him as my secondary, which leads me now to flip a coin virtually. Shout out to Jerry Slaughter. Go check out Armbar every more point. Between Moose and Josh Alexander, which truly have defined the TNA World Championship more than anyone else across this field. And if somehow this leaves the phenomenal AJ Styles versus Josh Alexander for the TNA World Championship anywhere, any promotion in the world, take my goddamn money. I think for me, this is the night that the system fails. And I think it finally goes down as a whole. Look at our predictions, guys. We've literally predicted all the other champions of the systems changing hands except this one. And now we're talking about this one. The system has to go down in order for this place to reset. System reboot. I'm going with secondary as Joe Hendry and primary as Josh Alexander. And bottom line, we'll see if it leads to some phenomenal aftermath or some crazier thing to happen under the NXT, TNA, NXT banner. Whether somebody shows up for the first time or somebody comes back home or someone else crosses the line.
I do want to also point this out. You know, you got AEW, and again, I'm gonna keep saying this because I've been saying it.
I mean, we've all been broken records for a number of reasons. So go ahead and close that one more.
I think the prohibitive portal is going to be industry wide soon. It's screaming that in 2025, and I say that because you look at AEW and they got their partnerships with Ring of Honor, which they own, Stardom, New Japan, and CMLL.
Yeah,
correct.
WWE has a TNA partnership, and TNA by proxy has AAA, and WWE also has a partnership with Pro Wrestling Noah
and Marigold apparently, or
Marigold. So I'm sensing like we're gonna get there. It's screaming that like they both have 5 companies per field.
The only way we're ever gonna get WWE versus AEW down the line is if Tony Khan gets his own head out of his own ass.
Unless this was a long con, which I'm not ruling out. I know that sounds crazy. I thought so too. I thought so too, Big G. I thought that shit was wild. I didn't think that could be possible that Tony could pull off a long con work like that where he was just making an ass out of himself on Twitter for the sake of the story. Couldn't think of it. And then all the other shit happened prior. The Vince McMahon shit happened. The NXT TNA partnership happened. Before that, the TNA and AEW partnership happened. And then by proxy, New Japan all that time ago.
Yeah.
Everything that happened in the industry, I'm not saying nothing is impossible anymore. I'm not. I'm going to keep an open mind at this point.
I mean, I respect that. I mean, again, I'm just the optimistic guy that says just your life and enjoy wrestling. And I truly do believe that right now, this is the greatest time for anybody, current, old, new, to be a fan of this industry. It's never looked more promising across the damn entire board. And that's saying something considering what we've been dealing with for the last 20 plus years with one particular company. But the bottom line is this. We know this Saturday we got Slammiversary and we're in for a phenomenal professional wrestling event. But that being said, I think we'll conclude the predicting with that. So thank you all for tuning in. What are your predictions, your aspirations, your premonitions? Who do you think should be the face of TNA? Do you believe in Joe Hendry as much as we do? Let us know in the comments. Again, thank you for tuning in. Before we bid y'all final do and conclude, let's go around, do some plugs, and then we will go ahead and close this thing out too. BG, again, always a pleasure. Welcome to the TNA League. Good luck to you. I got your predictions recorded, but again, folks, I will have a form. Your opinions matter, and the predictions are not finalized till Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That being said, Big G, what?
Well, sorry. I was trying to go on the open mic night graphic to get Big G's up.
Big G, go ahead and plug your stuff, man.
Yeah,
looking forward to seeing you again soon.
TikTok, if you dare. There you go. NoDQ or Big Baller G 1988. NoDQ _ Big Baller G on Twix. YouTube, if you like cats, if you're a cat person, go check out Harley and Joker's videos. Instagram, NoDQ _ Big Baller G 1988. And it was a pleasure being on. And I'm excited to see Slammiversary on Saturday.
True that. Now here's my question: do you even use Threads anymore? Like, is that
not really? Not really. I started. I think I started using it when it like first came out. I'm like, I can't keep up with Threads and Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and TikTok. I'm like, yeah.
Threads is just a bootleg fucking X. Like,
it is. That's all it is. It's Meta's. It is. And it's all under the same. Well, no, Meta is Facebook, Instagram, and Threads.
There was a reason why Mark Zuckerberg and the bootleg version of Zac Efron had a boxing fight. I'm just saying.
Soon enough, we'll have bootleg Bloodline versus original Bloodline and Bloodline Civil War, I'm certain. But that being said, James, again, man, you're Mr. Chaos. We appreciate you. Go ahead and plug your stuff.
Oh, Jesus. Speaking of which, am I?
Are you in there? You got your orange.
I should probably be in this one. So, if you guys want, you can check me out on Facebook at James Hebert Hebert, on Twitter or Twix, whatever you want to call it, and YouTube at JHebertSide95. And as I'll get to the shirt later, but Jay Hebert side of things.
Enough to pick for one night, but go ahead.
Yeah. Jay Hebert side of things going to be making a comeback soon, so make sure you stay subscribed. That should be uploaded tomorrow. Going to try to promote that because I cover a lot of topics, just, updating people's on what I think about things. And then, obviously, if you haven't checked it out, Gary Hebert, 1 in a Million documentary trailer, part 1, and Gary Hebert documentary trailer, part 2, the one that I can't air as a advertisement on the multiverse because Bruno Mars would strike all of us down with Smite. Yeah, not going to do that. And as always, real quick, before I go back to the open mic night room here, one more time, for all time's sake, I do really cool into things on the internet.
Oh my gosh almighty. This is why America struggles so much in the education system. All right. Well, thank you, Jason. Thank you, Big G. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in once again to another edition of City Predicting as we soon fade to black here. How fitting. I hope you all enjoyed this session. Dwayne, looking forward to having you on future session. Again, man, just let me know your schedule. I think this more likely will become the dedicated timing for TNA Slammiversary going forward after the go home of that TNA show into the pay-per-view or the plus special, because I think this works out great, and we definitely had a fun conversation at Time to Matter Night. Thank you, Jets, as always. Again, folks, tomorrow will be live across my social media. Follow me if you choose on the Twitter and on YouTube, primarily in Fox 916 for all things wrestling. Shout out to the W family on the Twitter and social medias. You'll find the forum there as far as prediction league snapshots, as well as give your own civil sentiment towards all the biggest shows we cover at Gemini Multiverse and Media, in and out of WWE, NXT, AEW, TNA, NJPW, and of course, Ring of Honor. And again, we'll be back here on Saturday with our coverage of Slammiversary before the weekly Saturday Night Shenanigans that are open mic night. So stay tuned for more on that. In the meantime, Friday, take it easy. Have a break. We'll see you Saturday, July 20th, 6 p.m. Standard Time for our pre-show of Slammiversary. We'll further preview, predict, and of course, hype up what we're going into that pay-per-view night. And then, of course, following that will be the weekly Saturday Night Shenanigans hosted by Renegade Wrestling, Kazane Studios, JJ Williams, that are open mic night. So stay tuned for more on that. And then we'll talk more about next week during that time. As I only wish to encourage you to just go live and enjoy professional wrestling too. Protect your mentality. And no matter how crazy, how off the rails, how bizarre they may be, treasure your families. That being said, thank you so much for tuning in once again to City Predicting. Please subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Hit the bell as video goes live on demand on either of these men's social medias or any of our YouTube channels in Multiverse Media. Hit subscribe on, help us keep growing our YouTube communities. I assure you, our passion, creativity, everything we cover here is definitely not letting up anytime soon. It's just becoming more chaotic and more filled out to the max.
Yeah, and especially before you close out, if you haven't watched the other watch-along coverages that we've done, NXT, Dynamite 250, Impact tonight, and then we got All This Man that's coming up next week. So, yeah, all the wrestling and all the combat sports and contact sports.
And again,
Lord have mercy on our souls.
We are gonna die tour.
Continue. You're weak. Y'all are weak. I will survive. That being said, thank you so much for tuning in. For JT, for Big G, for everybody out there. Thank you, everybody that tuned in also. Geekbot's good to see you. Daniel, Emmanuel, Josh, and Dwayne. Everybody that's been out there, whether you're casual or a newcomer, thank you for tuning in. I bid you all now find that dude. We'll see you Saturday night for Slammiversary coverage and open mic night. Have a good night, folks.
Good night, everybody.
A phenomenal night ahead. I can't wait. Do you believe?
I believe.
You better believe.